Hey everybody, this is Steve, and the last few years have been amazing.
Hey everybody, it's Steve, and on this episode... Wait, no.
We started Be the Bee back in September of 2013, and to be honest, we had no idea what we were doing. We just wanted to share the gospel with as many people as possible, to introduce as many people to Christ as we could. 100 episodes later, there's a lot to be proud of. Across the United States into Canada, the United Kingdom, Greece, Cyprus, South Africa, Australia, tens of thousands of people are watching every week. From little kids.
I love Be the Bee because it's about love. I like Be the Bee because the little cartoon people are funny and the little cartoon church is funny. Be the Bee is Orthodoxy.
To adults.
I love Be the Bee because it teaches me about Orthodoxy in such a fun and accessible way. I'm challenged to be a better Orthodox Christian, and I get to use what I learned every day.
I'm Bobby Maddox from Ancient Faith Radio, and I love Be the Bee because it makes complex theological concepts accessible, and because of the sheer handsomeness of Stephen Christopher.
I love Be the Bee because it has explained so much of the Christian faith to me, and it has shown me to see the brighter side of things.
I love Be the Bee because of how theological and succinct it is. I know that I can always plan to learn something relatively profound in a pretty short time. Plus, it's basically like watching a Greek version of myself.
From teenagers.
Be the Bee has opened my eyes to the true meaning of living Orthodoxy.
Hey everyone, my name's Alex from Houston, Texas. I love Be the Bee because it encompasses so much. Each video offers an Orthodox view on a different topic, and from week to week the topics vary greatly. And that's because God encompasses everything, therefore His teachings are applicable to everything. And that's what Be the Bee does so well. They give an Orthodox view on topics that a lot of people wonder about.
I love Be the Bee because it teaches me about God and it always tells me important stuff that I never knew about it.
I love Be the Bee because it's awesome.
High five!
Be the Bee has inspired me to use creativity to spread my faith.
I love Be the Bee because it teaches me to appreciate the small things in life. Like this beautiful little sunflower growing in the middle of this huge pile of manure.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing the light. We love Be the Bee!
From families.
We love Be the Bee because it's relevant. It's relevant to our everyday lives.
And after watching, we're buzzing about Orthodoxy.
We love Be the Bee because it helps us understand God, and it's good for all ages. Isn't that right?
Even incredible scholars and theologians watch Be the Bee.
I love Be the Bee because it combines faith and humor, much like a lot of the saints of our church.
So one of the things I love about Be the Bee is that it shows us that the issues and burdens and concerns that are present in the scriptures and from the church fathers are the same burdens and issues and concerns that we have today. And we see that in a really good way that connects our faith with our brothers and sisters in the past.
Not to mention all the clergy that watch.
I love Be the Bee because in 3 short words, I'm reminded of a profound theological metaphor that gives me the mindset I need to be the best Christian I can be every day.
I love Be the Bee because it takes what we do at camp and spreads it through the rest of the year.
Hi everyone, this is Father Ted from iSermon, Thoughts from a Local Parish on Ancient Faith Radio, and I just wanted to say that I love Be the Bee because it helps engage not only our youth but also all generations of Orthodox Christians in a meaningful and exciting way to challenge us to learn our faith.
Even a few bishops too.
Congratulations Be the Bee for the 100 episodes. They are brief, exciting and inspiring. Be the Bee.
And that's all pretty awesome, but our work's not done yet. Because as awesome as it is to have and to watch episodes about our faith, 100 or even 1,000 episodes of Be the Bee won't mean anything unless we manifest what it means to be the Bee in our lives, cultivating a real relationship with Christ, finding God in everything, every day. And we can frame our relationship with Christ with these 3 R's. That Christ is real, that Christ is risen from the dead, and that Christ has called us to repentance. First, we need to know that Christ is real, that He truly is the Son of God, both fully human and fully divine. He was born, He walked among us, He performed miracles, and He continues to be real, constantly at work, anywhere, and everywhere. Next, we need to know that Christ is risen from the dead, that he took on our broken humanity and joined us in the tomb so we could rise with him and become who God made us to be, his children, in his kingdom. And getting as many people as possible to see this, to know it, and understand it, is a huge part of what we've been doing for 100 episodes. But what comes next is just as important. That third R, repentance. As we've covered before, repentance is more than just regret. It's a change in mindset. It's a reorientation towards, a movement towards God. And that is really what's left for us after the camera turns off or after the video is done. Not simply to talk about God, but to move towards him and to inspire others to move towards him. We need to build a movement, not in a political or a cultural sense, but in this deeper sense of moving towards God in our repentance, so we can be united with him. Our movement is a beautiful dance, moving from glory to glory as we leave behind our broken and sinful selves and join ourselves to Christ in repentance, humility, and love. And of course, if you really believe that God is real, that he's saved us by rising from the dead, then you're naturally going to want to tell as many people as possible about the gospel, inviting them to join in our beautiful movement. And while our videos and blogs and other ways we communicate may open the door to some, the best way to show people that the kingdom of heaven is at hand is to change the way we act in the world, by joining the dance ourselves and acting on the gospel, by feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, visiting the lonely, sharing God's work in our lives by sharing God's love everywhere we go. That is how people will really find God and desire to join in. So yeah, we're glad that you're here watching the 100th episode of Be the Bee, but now it's time to go forth. We're going to put things on pause for the summer so we can spend some time researching and writing new episodes. And it seems like the perfect time to really reflect on what we've talked about for 100 episodes and really commit ourselves to putting it into practice. Be a light to the world. Live Orthodoxy every day, all the time. Invite others to join in our heavenly movement by witnessing to God's transforming love in your own life. So let's be the bee and join the movement.
Be the bee and live Orthodoxy. Be the bee and live Orthodoxy.
Be the bee and live Orthodoxy. Be the bee Orthodoxy. Be the bee and live Orthodoxy.
Remember to like and subscribe and share. I'll see you all in September. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon who helped make this episode possible. To support the creation of more Orthodox Christian content, please visit patreon.com/Y2AM.